What's up, everybody? Joe Carroll here. Today I'm going to do something a little different than what I would normally do for any of my fighting game videos. I do a lot of combo videos and instructionals, and for the forcible stuff, I'm usually doing deck lists or, looking at tournament results, things like that. But today I kind of want to talk about the community, and this is really the first time I'm doing this. I'm seeing a lot of negativity, and I'm trying to kind of digest everything, and I've had a few conversations with individuals, mainly just because I'm more curious than anything. So this new set got announced, and it's showing that we're gonna have reprints. Now, what they're doing is they're putting the cards that are in the starter decks that, if you live in Michigan or America in most states, they're damn near impossible to find. So when I first read that they're going to take up common and uncommon slots and give me rares from these starter decks that I really don't want to buy, and I can't buy, and I can't support a local shop and go buy them, I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. That was my initial reaction. And then I saw that there'd only be, I think it's 50 new cards, so half the cards are reprints. But when I really thought about it, out of every set, there's only so many cards that I actually deem playable, and most people would agree that you can't bring a lot of the cards to a tournament and expect to do well. So that would be considered what most people call bulk. Or, in Magic the Gathering, there's a ton of bulk. And Magic, while we're on the subject, they actually make a lot of sets that are literally just only reprints. I think that a lot of people kind of lose sight of the fact that some of these cards are pretty scarce, and it's not always easy for everyone to get their hands on cards. So I just want to kind of point that out. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you guys that there is definitely a downside to having, a new set come out and not have all new cards. Yes, we like seeing spoilers and seeing new cards and thinking of new things we can do, and that's all well and good. But I kind of want to, and I'll just touch on this real quick. I see a lot of negativity, and there's a lot of unknown factors going into the company itself, and we don't know what they're doing, and they're not talking to us, and it's a little scary. And for me, I got real bitter, and I'll be the first one to admit that I did post negative things on Facebook, and I cried and whined, and I'm trying to step back and kind of put myself outside and see, why am I doing this? And everything came back to the fact that this is the best card game I have ever played. I have gotten more enjoyment out of this silly little card game, and I've gone to Pro Tour level events and been, on day 2 of Grand Prix with 4,000 person entries in Magic the Gathering, and none of that even compared to a little 25-man tournament that I played in with this game. So as competitive as I am, and as much as I like the high level competition, this game is so mechanically sound and so well built, and even the cards themselves look better. I mean, the borders don't close the card in. The card feels like it goes all the way to the edge of the card. There's so much style. Quick cast cards have the little lightning around the mana or the will costs, so that that it has quick cast just by glancing at it. I mean, there's so many little things they put into this. There's so much detail. So that being said, I feel like a lot of people are just upset that they had something they really loved, and they didn't realize how great it was until they moved on. Or because a lot of people, I feel like, are still in the Facebook group or still following the game, but they don't play. They don't buy the cards, they don't show up to events, and their local scene died. And I understand if you don't want to put money into something that you feel like they're not doing what you want them to do, but at the same time, you have to take it with a grain of salt that, like, no company gives you everything you want. And yes, could they have better, PR and better community relations? Absolutely they could, because as far as we know, in America, there's none. So that's something that, I'm not trying to, like, defend Force of Will, but I just had this kind of, like, realization from my own, I guess we'll call it, like, understanding of what's going on, that once I stepped out of, like, the anger and the resentment and just the bitterness that I was feeling and wanting to sell all my cards and just be done with the game, and once I stepped back from all that, I realized that the game is amazing. Like, I've taken breaks for like a year and a half, couple months, couple weeks. Most recently, I took like a month off. And then I went and played, and I had so much fun, even though it wasn't, a super legit format. It was just like, I think we played Epic Stories. And by the way, if you haven't played that, you really should try it. It's way more fun than it sounds. So anyway, that being said, I just feel like I wanted to share with you guys real quick that, yes, like, there are things that suck, but going on Facebook and just posting negativity just because, like, you're angry doesn't change anything. You need to email the company. You need to tell them directly how you feel. Force of Will is not in our global US, whatever you want to call it, whatever Facebook channels we have, Treehouse of Fun, Force of Will, whatever. They are not reading that. In fact, I doubt they might know it exists. I don't know. But I don't think they're reading that. They don't have Orion Miles going in and spending hours every day, going through all the comments and making columns of pros and cons and what does the community feel about each individual subject and each mechanic and each card we come out with. No, they're not doing that. So you going on and just, like, for lack of a better term, you're just kind of like shitting on the people who really like the game and trying to ruin it for them. It's like, well, if I can't have fun with this, you can't either. And I feel like that is toxic and it's not good. And again, I will gladly say that, I have no qualms about saying, admitting I was one of those people. I have been, but I kind of snapped out of it. So I had an aha moment, and I hope that you guys do too, because you can be upset with this game. You have every right to be upset with this game. They have done us wrong. They really have. They've taken away tons of high-level competitions, and there's no more paid invites, and tons of events got canceled. And yes, it sucks, but at the end of the day, if you want this game to thrive, if you want it to grow, if you want to continue having a place to go and play and be able to buy the cards, be able to trade for them, and all the things that go into a CCG, you can't keep pouring poison down the throats of all the other people that you're trying to play with. So yeah, I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. I'm just trying to point out some things that maybe you didn't think about, and maybe hearing them from someone else will make you kind of self-reflect and think, yeah, why am I doing this? Like, why did I get banned from this game for 2 years? Why did I hate this game? Why did I stop buying the cards? And why? And if you truly have moved on, why are you still in the community, and why are you still posting all these negative things? When you quit a job, you don't go back to the job like once a month and just talk shit to everybody and tell them how shitty their job is and how their manager sucks. And I mean, yeah, like in some situations that might be fun and you might get enjoyment out of that because the job really sucked. But like, the difference is, it was a job. So let's use this analogy. Let's say you had the job, right? And you were a video game designer and you loved your job and you did that job all like for 4 years and you loved every second of it. And then some new management came in and the whole environment changed. And they didn't fire you. You decided to quit. You left. What right do you have to go back to that job and cause problems for the current employees who stuck it out, who are still enjoying that job and still making video games and still pumping out some indie titles that are really cool? So yeah, I just kind of want to put things into perspective here. So anyway, that being said, this set is coming out in a couple months, and you know what? Instead of getting a common and getting a Brunhild, instead of getting an uncommon and getting a Blade of Faith, you know, getting a Lucifer or getting, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like, are you really upset that you didn't get your, you know, one drop 03 that gives something +2/+2 and never goes in a fucking deck? You know, excuse my language. I'm just trying to prove a point here, guys. So that being said, feel free to comment. Feel free to message me. Feel free to post, you know, on Facebook. Just try to be more positive about things, even when they suck. Because, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, your opinion, it doesn't matter when you put it in the wrong context. Like, you have to use it correctly. You know, a fire hose doesn't put out a fire if you're pointing it in the wrong direction and using it incorrectly and not screwing it onto the fire hydrant correctly. You know, so we've got this awesome city, and a few of the houses are burning, and people want to like throw more oil onto it, and then they're hoping that the city gets better and doesn't keep burning. So yeah, that being said, carry a bucket of water, be on the bucket brigade, say positive things, invite people to show up for a local. I showed up to a local with just me and one other guy for a month. We were the only two. And now I'm going to be traveling more because my local scene died. So, you know what? That's okay. It's worth the time and the extra gas money to go meet up with some people and have a good time, share some laughs, and get to play some epic stories and the new Wanderer format that the council, you know, made up the new rules with Energize. And like, it's just there's gonna be nostalgia there. Like, there's just a whole lot of things that you can do with this game that don't have to be directly involved with going and winning a GP and getting an invite to Japan. Like, not everything has to be that. So hopefully, if the local scenes and you doing the fun formats and stuff builds up enough that they'll get word of it and there'll be bigger events, and then you can go play for your invite to Japan and everything else. So, all right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Yeah, again, like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want to. I really don't care. I don't do this for publicity. I just do it because I like it. And yeah, just had some thoughts on my mind, and I apologize if they were a bit brash and, you know, blunt, but sometimes that's what we all need. We need someone to point things out so that we can grow as individuals and we can become better people and be the best community that any game has ever seen. So yeah, you guys are awesome, and yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, see you.